Good morning. All right. There we go. Yo, what's going on, guys? A little bit of some technical difficulties. It's fine. We got it figured out. What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing well, man. We got the third day. What's up, Ferret? We got the third day of our playthrough of Divinity lined up with our buddy Pinky. We got lots of quest lines we've been pushing. Hopefully it'll start picking up a little bit action-wise. We hit this first town here, man. It's been a lot of fun still, a lot of laughs and everything, which is good. It's always a good time playing with our buddy. My name is Pinky, and but we'll try to get into a little bit more combat today than we have. We've enacted maybe a little bit of. We're playing a little bit of an evil playthrough. We killed some jailers yesterday and stuff. I think we might be a little bit antsy. Yeah. There's been a little bit of some discord going on. You know what I mean? It's been a good time though, man. We're having fun with it, and we'll keep pushing today. So. We'll see what time Pinky gets here. Usually it takes him a little bit, so I might have to, depending on how long the news segment goes, might have to have a little bit of a stall session, dive into Warframe for a match or two, take care of a quest or two while we wait for Pinky. But that's fine. If that's what we need to do, that's what we will do. We'll have a good day of streaming anyways, and go ahead and dive into what we do here, baby. First thing, which is video gaming news, man. So let's take a look at what we got. Cool. So this is what we're listening to this morning. Got the Crypt of the Necro Dancer vibes. All right. Pretty cool. Adventure RPG rhythm-based game. So if that sounds like a genre that's up your alley and you're digging the music, then I highly recommend going and checking out this title. All right, kill that. Let's get into our news stuff. Let's go. Cool, man. Ooh, wow. FTC finalizes $245 million fine against Epic Games to refund Fortnite players. Yikers. Microsoft bringing Call of Duty and PC games to a cloud service you've probably never heard of. I think is what that says. Yeah. A Boosteroid. Okay. See what else we got here. Ferret, how you doing this morning, buddy? Word. I hear that, dude. Can confirm. Same here, dude. Yeah. No doubt, dude. I feel that. I feel that, bro. Sorry, man. So look, Xbox is like, we keep seeing these deals pop up. It's like 10-year deal for PC to bring, games, specifically Call of Duty, to other platforms and other companies' platforms. They don't even own Call of Duty yet, but this is their play at trying to appease these regulatory committees that are kind of presiding over this acquisition of Microsoft trying to acquire Activision Blizzard, and a lot of the talk surrounding the anti-competitiveness, and them going, look, man, we're all friends, everything's okay, we're just gonna, So they're just throwing out 10-year deals to everybody they can. You know, it's like, bro, we are friendos. All right. We are not the bad guy. We're trying to help everybody. And look, dude, I've been a proponent of Microsoft being able to fulfill this acquisition from the get-go. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for Microsoft to be able to acquire them. Yo, Kayla, what's up? How are you doing? Are you feeling better today? I hope so. But it is funny, you know. It's like they're trying to find anybody that wants to ink a 10-year deal, you know. Not really. Oh, I'm sorry, man. That sucks. I'm sorry. It's good to see you. The weather let up at all? So this is kind of funny. I mean, we've got an article up. We'll take a look at it. Yeah, got that up too. It did good. Good. Yeah. Slept the whole rest of your day. Yeah. You must have needed it. It did snow all day. Oh, gross, dude. Like heavy snow. Yeah, you guys were under like a pretty nasty warning, right? We talked about this yesterday. I'm not going to dive into this. This is for tabletop games, so I'm not going to dive into that either. State of emergency, really? Yikers, dude. I hope everybody's okay. Yeah, yeah, fair. So PlayStation basically stated they only started their mess to prevent Microsoft from buying Activision Blizzard, right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's what I've been saying this whole time. It's been like really funny to me that PlayStation this whole time, because look, uh, anybody that has kept up with the gaming industry in any capacity really has it's always been known that oh, for real? Oh, wow. PlayStation's always outdone Xbox, and it's really, I mean, for dude, the past 20 years, really, you know, it's really been on Xbox to come up with these real unique ways of, you know, finding ways to bring people into the Xbox brand. You know, they've always been outsold double by PlayStation, and PlayStation's just always had this ability to just kind of sit above Xbox and just sit there and do what they've always done. They haven't had to change their business strategy or anything. You know, it's been real easy for them. They don't want to change either, though. You know, it's blatantly obvious, and this is a game changer. This is a game changing acquisition. Now, the fact that, well, one of the reasons it's so game changing for Microsoft and for Xbox is because it's not just Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a unique title, and this is a hugely you know, the profitability that is the potential behind what they can do with a unique title like that is massive, right? But I mean, you think about all the portfolio that they're getting out of Activision Blizzard is absolutely insane. From the titles that are still very popular and currently running IPs, all the way back to things that haven't had that still have a huge following in the you know, the gaming world, that haven't had iterations of games made for years and years and years now. The potential for Microsoft to do stuff on that front is insane. Along with the fact that like they're trying to set up their own app store. They're one of the biggest players in cloud gaming. They've got, the subscription service. Their gaming subscription service is one of, if not the largest. It probably is the largest in the world, But these are areas which they've put themselves in this position first and foremost above these other companies, right? Because they had to find ways to survive with the Xbox brand. Because they weren't doing it on, they lose money. They've always lost money on hardware sales on like consoles and stuff, right? So they've been very smart business-wise in what they've done to compete in the market, specifically against PlayStation. While PlayStation has just always sat back and, to be honest, there's a lot, especially over the past 5 to 10 years, there's a lot that Xbox has done very, very well that PlayStation has copied eventually, And to me, it seems very, very obvious that PlayStation doesn't want this to happen because they don't want the script to be flipped on them, They don't want to have to turn into who Xbox has had to be for so many years and have to sit behind Xbox now and go, what can we do to compete with them? Which is what Xbox has had to do for forever, right? So, at least that's the way it's come off to me. And so PlayStation has just, like I said from the get-go, whenever they initially turned down, PlayStation got the first 10-year offer, and they shot it down. And whenever we first read that in the news, I told everybody when we came across it, I said, we have no idea what the details are of this, but it basically would not have mattered. No matter what Microsoft offered PlayStation, unless it was a lifelong deal that didn't cost any money for PlayStation, they never would have said yes because they want it to look anti-competitive, right? So I'm not even surprised, man. Not even surprised at all. Don't get me wrong. There are definitely, there's fine print to this situation and ultimately I've always thought that Microsoft will eventually be able to acquire Activision Blizzard. I think it's going to happen. But any kind of acquisition, especially a big one like this, it does result in an amount of anti-competitiveness, Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, thanks, dude. Nice. Cool. Yeah, I'll pull it up. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Check this out. Nice. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, we'll read that. That's going to be a good read there. I haven't really seen anything come out from Blizzard on this front or Xbox on this front, like really ousting PlayStation is just going, look, dude, they're just trying to block this. It's not. And I don't know. I've seen a few other articles that have kind of come across the same sentiments I have in regards to the situation. And I don't look, man. I haven't taken enough time to dive fully into it to know all the ins and outs, And anytime there's going to be pros, there's going to be cons. We talk about that all the time, right? So I'm not trying to put a spin on this merger and say that there's only going to be good things about it. That's not the case for sure, But I do think it's for the better all the way around. I think it's actually going to increase competition throughout the industry. I think if anybody was going to be able to take over Activision Blizzard and reduce the anti-competitive nature of what there would potentially be coming out of it, I think that Xbox is probably, Microsoft and Xbox, probably one of the better ones to take it over, along with rebuilding Activision Blizzard, because that company has had a lot of issues that we all know about, and that's something that has to be done. And Microsoft has dealt with their own issues in the past. They they've done a decent job of staying on the up and up since then, and I think they might be able to go in and actually turn that company around, dude. They got to get rid of Bobby Kotick, that's for sure. That's got to happen. I don't know how that dude's still at the top of that company. I have no flipping idea. But thanks for the article, dude. We'll read about it. Wow. New Bing GPT-4 chat mode can write Xbox gaming guides. Hmm. Interesting. Who needs guides, dude? I don't think that's worth diving into. Our buddy Pinky though has been messing around with the Bing GPT-4 a lot, and has been having some fun with it. So if anybody has any questions about that, Pinky will be here later once we start playing the Divinity stuff. And if anybody has any questions, I'm sure that Pinky would be more than willing to answer some of those within the experience that he has so far and knowledge he's gathered about that platform. Former Diablo devs launched Gas Giant Games. We'll take a look at that. Looks like Call of Duty's got some Modern Warfare 2 has some free access dates announced. Take a look. What? All right, let's see what China's doing now, dude. Um, if you didn't know, I mean, China has gotten very, very, very uh, big into regulating the gaming industry within their country. If you didn't know, I mean, it's very, very, very regulated. The amount of constraints within the gaming realm for game players all the way through developers is significant. We've talked about it a lot, but we'll see what they have to say on that front right there with some new stuff going on. PS Plus reveals first free games for April 2023, or game. Let's take a look. Citizen Sleeper. See what they're talking about with that title. That's supposed to be a really good game. Yeah, we hit on all the Pokemon like okay, so the Nintendo eShop is like shut, or the 3DS eShop. Okay, I hate even saying this. It doesn't even, it doesn't make sense thinking about saying it. It just doesn't make sense. The 3DS eShop is shutting down, and the Wii U eShop is shutting down. Um, yeah, I don't know. Nintendo is so terrible about this stuff, and we talk about it a lot. We've talked about it a lot here recently too. So I'm gonna try not to get on a rant here, but we took a good amount of time to talk about this yesterday, and I'm pretty sure the day before. So check out those news segments. But the 3DS and Wii U eShops are being shut down, and they will no longer be accessible by the time next month comes. I think it's what, the 27th or something like that. I think that they're 27th right there, 27th of March. They're going to be completely shut down. You'll no longer be able to access the 3DS or the Wii U eShops. Why they are not converting these over to just one central Nintendo online platform, I don't understand. They've always done this kind of thing. They're terrible about that. They're terrible about backwards compatibility, preserving the history of Nintendo titles. They suck. But I mean, what are we going to do about it other than try to raise awareness about it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a big play, you know what I mean? So, um, I don't think they're going to be able to make me like it, buddy. I mean, dude, I'm polishing a thumb up, you know what I mean? And it's being reserved for Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? They need a soul cleansing, dog. So I'm just trying to raise as much awareness as possible about the kinds of. I'm just trying to raise as much awareness as possible that I can for the amount of reach that I can potentially have for people in the industry and gaming enthusiasts about the kinds of things that some of these companies do to really get over on us and the things that just don't seem right, and Nintendo does a lot of things that seem pretty scummy to me, and I absolutely do not understand. There's so much, we've talked about this too. There's a lot of fear right now about them coming out with their next console because people are so afraid that this exactly what's happening right now with the 3DS shop and the Wii U shop is going to be the same thing that happens with the Switch Online platform, that it'll end up getting they'll have an entirely new platform for the new console, and eventually the Switch, everything that is the online, the eShop, all the online accessibility and things like that for the Switch will end up dying off because they don't do anything to make one comprehensive website for all their platforms to give people access to the older titles. They don't do anything for backwards compatibility. It's so scummy and it's so gross. And I don't, other than just exactly what Ferret just said in chat a moment ago, other than a ploy, which we know a big part of it is a ploy for greed and trying to make more money off of people because, they make people buy a game on one platform. Like that's what people are going to do with Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch. And then, when the new platform comes out, their new console, it won't be backwards compatible because they never are. And people will have to buy Tears of the Kingdom again on the new console. This is the game they play, and it's so instead of, even though you own that piece of software, which that's all it should be about, right? That's like, if you think about PC gaming, owning a piece of software on a platform, it doesn't matter. It's not tied to a particular PC or anything, right? It's not tied to a particular PC version or anything like that. You can play it forever on whatever PC you want. And that's the way that consoles should be. That's the way that the console world should be too. If you buy a piece of software, as long as it's on their platform, that's all it should be about. It shouldn't matter if it's, having the product of like, say, a Super Nintendo game or something. If you had the digital version of it way back in the day or something, and then, you should have it for life. As far as I'm concerned, you bought it once, it's yours, man. And they should give you the availability to play that game forever. Oh yeah, and yeah, I mean, dude, you're gonna get me on a rant. I mean, we talked about it a lot. They take away your access. They kill these eShops. They take away your access, and then at the same time, you can't get a hold of the games legit anymore. But they also, they don't want you emulating anything. Yeah, Ferret's feeding the flames here, dude. I got to get off of this, but we dive into it. Look at yesterday's news segment and the day before. It's really, really terrible. But, what you need to know is that if you really have been needing to grab some games for the 3DS or the Wii U, you need to do it because you got like 12 days left. Yeah, I know, dude. I know. Yeah, it gets me so flippin' riled up, though. It's so gross, man. It's so gross, dude. And, I mean, look, obviously, they've gotten away with it for so long is the terrible thing, I mean, I think that's the thing that I'm trying to get across to people. They get away with this because I don't think enough people are catching what they're doing, Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't take much, does it? Yeah, dude. Yeah, I get riled up pretty easy about it. Yeah, no. But it just got it. It really, really, really mauls me out. So I don't know. I just want more people to understand what they're doing to us, and to, hopefully get people to quit buying into it. At least like go at them. You know what I mean? Be like, yo, you guys suck. Like, stop doing this crap to us. It's disgusting. PS5 Pro in development. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually seen it a while back. Yeah, and then I watched it again after you put it in there, and I just forgot to comment on it, dude. I like watched it and I got sidetracked with something else, and I just forgot to comment, dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good one, dude. Yeah, yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. They do a bunch of those too, man. There's a bunch. There's like one where they're like they've got some kind of like motorbike. They're like it gets destroyed. Those things are gnarly, man. Those things are gnarly. Those big crushers, you know. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. So PS5 Pro in development. Okay. What do you guys think that'll cost? Oh yeah, bro. Dude, there's some gnarly videos out there, the old Nokia phones, man. People trying to destroy those things. Those were amazing. Not only were they like uh, uh nigh indestructible, dude, but just the fact that they had Snake, dude. That is the greatest mobile game that was ever or will ever be made, dude. Calling it. The game was so dope, dude. I remember too. I remember whenever I got my first Nokia flip phone and I realized their phones weren't the same quality that they used to be. And I was like, all right, no more Nokia phones for me, dude. This is the end of it, man. I mean, what do you think this is going to cost, dude? PS5 Pro? 650? 7? Looks like there's some new Callisto Protocol DLC. We've already kind of hit on this, yeah. It's no secret, man. Konami's got some new games popping off. Like they're bringing back Silent Hill stuff. It's been talked about for a while that they're diving into Castlevania again too. So, excuse me. It's a pretty good sign that we've got some, you know, new life being breathed into some of these old iconic IPs and series that are beloved and but that have been gone for a while, and that's a lot. That's good news for a lot of us that have loved these titles over the years. And Castlevania, it does appear that Castlevania is going to be coming our way, and not just like mashups. Like right now, they got the Dead Cells Castlevania, Return to Castlevania, I think is what it's called. Um, which it looks very very cool. It's a perfect place for a mashup, but we're talking like dedicated Castlevania games coming back, which is really neat. Naughty Dog has decided what their next game will be. Okay. What is terminal velocity? Let's see what this is. Tron identity release date revealed in new trailer. I don't know what to think about this. I've always liked the Tron universe quite a bit, but you know what's crazy is like for a universe that is actually built on the premise of being like sucked into a digital world. You know, like it seems like the it wouldn't take a whole lot of imagination to really build on that and do it very well, you know, and make a pretty solid game out of that. And then what we get is like a story rich narrative driven game where there's like no action or anything. It's like, really? When all the Tron, you know, the Tron always had a lot of action in it and stuff, you know. And so I don't know. I mean, not that it won't be good, and there are a lot of great, you know, story rich games out there and stuff, but it just I don't know, I guess it's kind of surprising to me there hasn't been just like a really good Tron game be made. And then this is where we go with it, you know. I don't know. Excuse me. All right, last page and we'll dive in here. New Street Fighter 6 gameplay. Zangief. Nice, dude. Yeah, we already talked about that yesterday. Battlefield 2042 stuff. Tekken 8 martial law gameplay trailer. All right. Making your video games has become a nightmare, huh? One second. Apologies. Here's some yelling, man. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. Apparently. Mike Hype, yeah, dude. Yeah, Mike Hype. Yeah, sorry. What's up, Mithril? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I could hear some yelling, man. I just want to make sure everybody was okay. Yeah, yeah. So we'll take a brief look at this, okay? I mean, this is a big deal in the industry, right? So I think there's a lot of different ideas about what the problem is and why it's you know why it's so hard to develop good games, But I think there's different viewpoints, especially coming across from different segments of the industry. Like from us as the consumer and the game player, I think a lot of us have an idea of what the problems stem from, but we're also quite often not part of the process, right? And then you have, I think the developers themselves, like the people actually doing a lot of the grunt work, the grinding of the tile itself, and they're going to have a different idea because of being, caught in between business pressure from the top down, and then what they know that the community wants to see from the bottom up too. And then it's just I think from the marketing and business standpoint of things, there's going to be a different idea of why there's an issue with it too, but we'll dive into this and see what they have to say. Let's get into these articles. PlayStation Plus reveals first free game for April of 2023. Sony has revealed the first free game that will be coming to PlayStation Plus in April. Currently, a March lineup of PS Plus Essentials titles have only been available for a week, which means that those who haven't yet redeemed these games still have plenty of time left to do so. While Sony has yet to reveal the full lineup of PS Plus Extra and Premium games that will be going live later this month, the company behind the PlayStation brand is already giving subscribers a tease of what lies in wait for April. Excuse me. Revealed on the PlayStation blog. I think this is probably yesterday. Yeah. It was confirmed that Meet Your Maker will be the first game available to PS Plus subscribers in April, which will be available on April 4th. Wait, do what? Yeah. So I think, I mean, and we'll dive into it, dude. yeah, you're right. And that's one of the things I was thinking too. I mean, and we talk about it a lot. Like there's a big difference, I think, between also what people are going to think around the issues with game development across just some of those viewpoints that I was talking about. And then it definitely spreads across different segments of developers too, whether you talk about real small indie devs, all the way through like AAA game devs, and then through like a title like you're talking about, dude, with Star Citizen, which we've hit on here recently. We talked about it yesterday, which is kind of a gross situation, right? So, dude, we talked about it yesterday. Were you here yesterday, Mithril, when we talked about it? Dude, that is one of my prime examples of like a very, very, very gross, like that. That is such a terrible situation, dude. That game. Oh no, you're good. No, you don't need to apologize. Yeah. I didn't know that you were like into playing that game and stuff, or I didn't recall. Yeah, I mean, dude, I've known it for a long time. It's way over that, by the way. It's way over 5 mil at this point. It's over $500 million. They hit $500 million in September of last year. They hit $500 million in September of last year. So they're well beyond that at this point, and that's not even including all the other investing. I mean, because they've got at that point, like September of last year, they had like around 70 million worth of just other investor kind of money that was coming in and stuff like that too. You know, it's a pretty gross situation. That game was supposed to full release in 2014. That was 9 years ago. And what, it's like And actually, dude, I'm glad that you're here and I'm glad that you play because I was talking about it yesterday. I was like, look, I don't have any experience playing the game, but what I do know about it is pretty disgusting from how much money they've raised. You know what I mean? Yeah, rant too, dude. Well, it's good that Mithril's here and Mithril's played the game because that's one of the things we were talking about yesterday, right? Fair, like we were talking about the that title specifically came up, right? And I was like, dude, I don't have any experience, so I can't attest to personal experience of playing the game, right? Uh, so it's nice to have somebody around that has actually played the game because I'm interested in that. I don't want to just totally trash a game, especially when I don't have an experience in it, right? Um, yeah, I mean, that's one of those things that's weird to me though. It's like, I mean, we know it's alpha. They're still putting out updates and patches to the game that are referred to as alpha, right? So yeah, we're well aware. So you have a lot of fun with it, but you're also, you know, so it's still just modules, right? The entire game is just put out in modules. Yeah, it's like different sections of the game that are being created and in playable states. It comes out that you can like check out these different modules that are playable. Is that correct? Is that kind of what it comes down to? Yeah, I heard about. Yeah, that's kind of what prompted our discussion yesterday. Was the new release? There was an article talking about the new release and how bad it's been for like their servers and availability and bugs and people being able to log in and stuff. Yeah. So which anytime Star Citizen comes up, dude, I basically bring up the Wikipedia page and I show everybody the numbers. I'm like, this is an absolutely disgusting example of you know I mean, it looks like a scam, dude. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. Um, Here's my thing. So, being somebody that plays the game, do they have like any kind of decent roadmap, or do they follow it very well? If they do, I mean, because it doesn't appear that way, and it seems like like they just keep reaching and reaching. And it's just all increasing. God, dude, see that's gross, man. We're talking 9 years, dude, that this game is still in alpha, and it was supposed to release, 9 years ago. It's in alpha, playable in module. It seems like a scam, dude. You know, and I know why so many people are into it because Chris Roberts and Wing Commander and all that stuff. But dude, there is something to be said for giving people like that's one of the things about Steam that really bugs me too is like games being able to go like early access and then they can just sit in early access forever. It's like, dog, there needs to be a finished product at some point in the not too distant future after early access or whatever you want to call it. And then anything that you add after that is like additional content. And well, that's good, Mithril. I'm glad. Yeah, it seems like they're having a hard time focusing is what it seems like to me, Ferret. It seems like they're all over the place. And dude, Mithril, I'm glad you're having a good time in the game. That's great. I know there are a lot of people that are not excited and they've been trying to get refunds and stuff too, though. Yeah, yeah. It seems like they have a hard time focusing in on and like before they move on to new things, which is not good. That's not a good development strategy, dude. Um, the reach for this game was already massive, and it seems like and that would make a lot of sense as to why the game is still in an alpha. Oh, for real? I knew they had some issues in the past, but okay, that's good. So look, I mean, that's what gaming's about, and if you're having fun with the game, the more power to you. But numbers wise, and from the outside looking in, I think for anybody that hasn't played that game, it does come off as a pretty terrible situation. I'm glad you're enjoying it though, Mithril. I am. That's what gaming's supposed to be about. But it seems like a weird situation, man, from the outside looking in, for sure. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But I'm glad we had somebody that actually plays the game that could give us a little bit more insight, because that's what I'm looking for, especially for games that I haven't played. It's usually there's going to be a bit of uh you know, and look, not everybody's going to have the same experience in a game and stuff, right? So there's always going to, you got to take that into consideration. Just playing straight off of what somebody else's experience has been doesn't mean that that's exactly what your experience is going to be. We all understand that, right? But um, I'll tell you, dude, just off of what I know of the game, I don't plan on diving into it because it doesn't seem like a good development process to me, which I'm not a fan of. And but I'm glad to have somebody around, and I would love to hear more as it progresses from you, buddy. You got like 500 hours in it. Nice, nice. So, um, I'm always interested in, because I mean it's impossible for all of us, to be able to have a taste of every single game out there, and that's an impossibility, dude. There's not enough time in the world, and for me doing these news segments all the time, you know, it's just a part of the reality of things is that I'm going to be talking about titles that I'm not going to have experience in, and sometimes there's going to be that, you know, proponent to me talking about a title that I don't necessarily have experience in. I'm going to be seeing things from the outside in, and I like to have people that can bring personal experience to the table for me. Yeah. Yeah, I know what the game's built around. Yeah. Yeah, I know what the game's built around and stuff like that. But just personal experience with the title and how people have felt about it, is more the thing I'm looking for, especially whenever you talk about a game like this that has had so much controversy um, around the entire process. Dude, $500 million, well over half a billion. That's a lot of flipping money for a development, though. You know, that is an absolutely insane amount of money to develop a game. And, for to have over 1,000 devs, I don't know. I just don't see it, dude. I don't understand. I don't understand the process. It seems like a very bad project development process behind the game. You know, a few, yeah. Super happy. Well, that's good. That's good. I mean, there's something to be said for that. It's chaotic. Yeah, I mean, it seems that way. It seems that way. I mean, I can only imagine it would be a little bit tough with that many people, but um, it seems like it's a little bit of a mess. You'll have to keep me informed as to how the game's progressing and stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, there's something to be said. That's fantastic. I'm glad. That's great. That's great. But I don't know. I have to say though, man, because dude, I've been following this game for a long time. It was really, really interesting to me from the get go. Back whenever the game was announced and when they started development on it, and then all the way through, like, all the way up to this point, I've just like, it's like my eyes just get wider and wider. It's like, oh my god, dude, like, what is happening, man? Um, yeah, I would. That's a nice way of putting it, dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people, because it's not a game. Nowadays it's like for PC games especially. Usually you're on one of a few platforms, and that's not the way that game works, right? So, I mean, the premise around it's amazing. You know, the premise around it is really intriguing, and the ideas, I mean, even initially, I'm sure it's expanded greatly since then, but I don't know, man. It's like, is it ever going to finish? Are they even going to get to like a beta phase? you know that's the way I'm looking at it. if if it takes, you know a decade If it takes a decade, we're talking about Star Citizen. If it takes a decade to get through an alpha, how long does it take to get through the beta? And you know, and I mean that's assuming that the alpha would be finished within a decade, because that's within the next year. 2 new complete systems later this year, likely be 10+ years to beta. What's up, Ghost? How you doing, buddy? You mean it's fully playable all through right now, or it's supposed to be by the time they get the new complete systems later this year? Which one, Mithril? And I know I got off of this this topic here, but this article, but it was I had to talk to Mithril about this a little bit, having somebody that's played Star Citizen. Oh no, Ghost. Yeah, no. Star Citizen's game we were talking about yesterday, and we've talked about it a few times. It's this game is it's been a wild ride. I didn't necessarily know we had any community members that had played it, and apparently Mithril has been playing it for a while. And this is a game that is a backed kind of game, a community backed kind of game that has received over $500 million in monetary support for developing this game, and it's still in alpha phase. It was supposed to release. They said initially the game was going to be releasing full in 2014, and we're 9 years later, and it's still releasing alpha status software. So it's a weird situation. Um, I mean, you would hope doing it at a $500 million budget, and no. It's not a gotcha game, no. But you can. It's a. I don't think. Do they have like a gotcha system to it? They didn't used to. Oh yeah, there's a lot of real money in it. But basically, what it is you buy ships. You buy ships with real money, and those are the ships that you get in game and stuff. And I mean, at 500 million in 9 years, dude, you would hope that their alpha status would be pretty fleshed out, dog. I mean, you see where I'm coming from, right? It's like, you know, um, giving a comparison, to like more in the alpha than No Man's Sky or Elite, and it's like, well, you would hope so. You you would hope so, dude. At over $500 million budget right now, for development and 9 years worth of alpha development, or I mean, not even more than 9 years, dude. More than 9 years. They were saying full release. This thing started development in 2011, right? So we're well over. This thing started development in 2011, 2012 at the latest. I'm fairly certain of that. So we're over a decade into development at this point, and yeah, I mean, you would hope that like over a decade worth of development and over a $500 million budget that there'd be quite a bit of material in the alpha, dog. I mean, you have to see where like it's a little bit absurd. You know what I mean? It's a little bit absurd, dude. That's a little bit crazy. Um, So I don't know, but I do want to know more about like how it's progressing, because I mean it's a topic for us, dude. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, most are in the range of like $60 for the ships and stuff. Yeah. Some people have bought all the ships around 40. We'll have to look more into it at some point in the future. Um, but yeah, I'm glad to know. Yeah, I appreciate having somebody around that can like give us a little bit more information. But dog, that's crazy. That's so crazy. I don't know. Thanks, Mithril. I appreciate it, buddy. Show you around in it. Takes a really high spec PC. Yeah. Um, I mean that's a bit of a weird play too, though, if you ask me. Yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll have to try to set it up at some point, dude. We'll have to see. Have to see if we can figure it out. You mean like anybody that wants to hop into that game takes a really high spec PC, or what? Or are you talking specifically like going and taking showcasing somebody around in like? There you go. Thanks, Ghost. We'll keep moving forward. Keep talking to me, man. I appreciate the info, buddy. Yeah, I really do. So, meet your maker. The first of 3 different games that Sony will be giving to PS Plus Essential members in the coming month. Not known yet what titles will be up for grabs alongside Meet Your Maker. Seems likely this will end up being the centerpiece of April, though. Best thing about Meet Your Maker coming to PS Plus is that its launch on the service will coincide with its actual release date. Oh, what? Meet Your Maker is going to be a day one release for PS Plus, which makes its addition to the platform just a bit sweeter. Let's see this. You ready? Oh, dude, do I know what this? Yeah, I know what this is. I know what this.
This wasteland is a domain of devious creation. A thousand.
Yo, this is the new game from the Dead by Daylight devs.
To protect the
if you didn't know that,
resource we have left. But by whom, you ask?
Okay.
By builders.
They don't optimize.
They express themselves in stone and steel, raising fortresses to stop any raider foolish enough to enter.
I've got this is the weirdest flipping
and you will
like
find that no two
development process, exactly, dude, for a game that I think I've ever heard of. Star Citizen.
Take this example. I call them maze makers. These builders weave their outposts like a loom, spinning labyrinths to torment.
This game does look dope, Ghost. I agree.
Prey deeper into the abyss.
Yeah. So again, this is Dead by Daylight devs. This is their next title, man.
Next come the trappers. They are masters of suspense, crafting traps and secret snares. All is quiet until the chaos erupts. An invisible arsenal lurching to life, eviscerating any who covet their oozing horde. Visionaries are a different breed still. Yes, they are artists of the damned, creating beauty only to pervert it. They spawn their brutes in grafted masses. The creatures scatter and surge, fly and fire. A dark legion living only to feed. The maestros, however,
I had forgotten this was about to hit.
So much as to break their
so many traps, yeah.
These builders are the wasteland's obsessive geniuses. The creators.
Well, it's all about like building your own.
Every chamber is a trial of skill and will. Each outpost a relentless summit to climb and conquer.
Like base.
If anything, the maestro would welcome defeat.
Or fortress or whatever, and then setting it up with all kinds of your own traps and enemies and stuff like that, and then other people are doing the same thing, but you're trying to raid each other's spots is what I'm gathering,
Yet still there is more. Incinerators, torture chambers, and subterranean
Then you can
tubes,
co-op it,
factories
you know.
and cratered catacombs, blackened voids, and
Oh, you made
ruthless
Doom
bloody
maps?
monoliths.
Nice, dude.
This isn't a wasteland. No, it's an empire of
So you'll
brutal
probably
expression.
enjoy this, man.
All is yours to build. All is yours to conquer.
But yeah, that's what it's supposed to be about. From what I remember of what I saw when they originally announced this, it's all about like, and you can team up with people, things like that. But it's just you're like building up your own base, your own fortress, and everything, and you're going to be setting up traps and you know, things of that nature, and then you're going to be trying to raid other people's spots too. Yeah, Meet Your Maker is a post-apocalyptic first-person building and raiding game where every level is designed by players, says the game's official description. You are the custodian of the Chimera, a living experiment created as a last resort to save life on Earth. Enter a tactical battle for the planet's most coveted resource and the key to your Chimera's evolution. Pure genetic material. Construct and fortify maze-like outposts to extract and guard your gen mat. Infiltrate and outsmart other players' outposts to gather more, adapt, upgrade, and evolve, or die trying. Yeah, and, you know, it looks like it could be cool. We'll have to see how it goes. Yeah. Let me know if anybody dives into it. If you need anything out of that, or if you wanted to watch that again, here you go. Citizen Sleeper, one of 2022's best games, and its final free DLC launches this month. A tabletop-inspired RPG completely blew us away last year. I want to play this very bad, actually. With its incredible writing, haunting music, and stunning art design. On 30 March, the story will conclude with its last piece of free DLC, the episode Purge. Following on from the two previous free DLCs, Flux and Refuge, Purge introduces another new character and some additional story to Erland's Eye, and will conclude the story of the Sleeper and expand further on the wider narrative of the Helion system where the game is set. Not much else is known. We're sure it will be moving, thought-provoking experience. One of the next characters on the right of the key art below will be a long-haired person who we assume is visiting Erland's Eye. Celebrate the launch of the final DLC. Citizen Sleeper will be 30% off on the Switch eShop. Can we just turn this to Nintendo eShop? Nintendo, can you guys figure your crap out, please? A bargain for a game which has an excellent told story. I'll stop. I gotta stop. Well, I have you rolling the dice time and time again. We'll start ranting again, dude. Here you guys go, dude. Ferret, don't do it, dude. PlayStation 5 Pro in development has a late 2024 release date, says sources. How much is it going to cost, dude? What was the PS4 Pro price? I'm saying this is going to be like $650, $700, depending on what hardware they have in it. My lips are sealed. What was the PS4 Pro cost? Do you guys remember? $400? Really? Interesting. Okay. Maybe not as much more than what I thought, but late 2024 release date. Oh, yeah. Then it probably won't be that much more. Probably won't be that much more. I mean, by that time, you know, it's like, and it depends on what they're trying to do hardware-wise with it. Let's see here. PS5 Pro is now under development, has a release date of 2024, according to sources. Information comes courtesy of Tom Henderson from Insider Gaming, who detailed in their post what the sources told him. The sources confirmed the PS5 Pro is in development and that it had a tentative release date of 2024, late 2024. Interestingly, this is different from a previously reported PS5 upgrade that has a detachable disk drive. Additional details regarding the PS5 Pro are understandably limited. It could be, however, that it has improved and accelerated ray tracing performance. This is thanks to a patent that was recently published by PlayStation architect Mark Cerny and was spotted by Gaming News. No other information. Can guess that it would be performing better in terms of, speed, graphics, probably loading, things like that. But we don't really know. They don't have any information on the hardware yet. So a lot of it's going to probably depend on the hardware, what they're trying to do with it, what they're trying to put into it, how much of an upgrade are we going to be getting here. But okay, so what you have to take into consideration is, you think 800 really? I don't know that I agree. I'm not saying that you're necessarily wrong, but you take into consideration that they've been selling the PlayStation 5 at roughly a $500 price point since it released, 2.5 years ago, right? 2.5 years ago almost. And by the time the PS4 Pro comes out, technology has evolved a bit. It's gone down, and the technology that they've been using in the PS5 is going to go down a bit, which means the technology they're going to be using in the PS5 Pro will probably have gone down a bit too. So, okay, yeah. So I was speaking in US dollars, by the way. Yeah, 750. God dang, dude. So I was thinking probably more closer to like a $650, $700 price point, US anyways, than like maybe an 800. But I think it would depend on what they're trying to do with this. You know what I mean? It would depend on what they're trying to do with it. But here's the other thing that's crazy. Honestly, yeah, that's like 1K Australian, dude. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if they'll even ship it there, right? Sorry, dude. Dude, we got to get you guys the Steam Deck, dude. We got to get you the Steam Deck. I know. I'm sorry, Mithril. Canceled. Yeah, we got to get Mithril a Steam Deck, dude. We got to figure out a way to get Mithril a Steam Deck. So this is another thing to think about here. Part of this is a marketing ploy, right? To get more interest into the PlayStation 5 before the PlayStation 6 comes out. You know? Yeah, I know you do, man. I know you do. We got to figure it out, dude. We got to figure it out. So, you talk about the life cycle of consoles is normally 5 to 6 years. We're 2.5 years into PS, current or the next gen or the modern consoles, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. We're 2.5 years into those now, right? Which means what? We've got another 2.5 to 3.5 years left, right? So 2.5, we'll say 3.5 years. 3.5 years, we're talking. Let's say 3. We'll just go 3. We'll go right in the middle. The beginning of 2026, right? Beginning of 2026 is when we should probably be expecting the next gen PlayStation and Xbox consoles, right? And PlayStation's planning on dropping the PS5 Pro at the end of 2024. So, that's something to keep in mind. So, they're planning on dropping the PS5 Pro at the end of 2024. So, within probably a year and a half after that, within a year and a half after the PS4 Pro drops, I would say within a year and a half after the PS5 Pro drops, it could. That's not the normal life cycle of things. It doesn't mean it won't happen. I mean, if you look at the normal life cycle of things, though, Ghost, consoles are on about a 6-year average life cycle before the next iteration comes out. Yep. It's a historic trend, dude. Historically. Nintendo's really pushing theirs out right now. But that's about it. 7 years tops, really. Yep. That's about the way it works. Nintendo's pushing really hard with the Switch right now, but they're caving. And that's about the way that works normally. You know, take a look. Let's see. I think it's a little bit easier for companies nowadays to push out their consoles a little bit further because of, the power of hardware. But it doesn't change the fact that hardware is always evolving. Technology is always evolving at a very, very rapid pace, right? So it's almost an inevitability that within 6 to 7 years that life cycle maintains. It's very cyclical, if you will. Oh. Yeah, I didn't trust that. I even said that when I read that, yeah. Switch Pro. There's no Switch Pro. They shut that down. I didn't know if you were I don't know if you're memeing right there or not, but that got X right. I'm pretty sure we saw where Nintendo officially kind of shut that down. Yeah. The last thing I had read was the Switch Pro has been nixed, dude. Yeah, Switch Pro's nixed. Yeah, that's what it always kills me because I read articles and it's like, Nintendo, they've got a game coming out to all the Switch consoles, and coming to Switch OLED, and Switch. I'm like, dude, just say Switch because they're all the same thing, basically, right? It's just the same thing, dude. What are you talking about? So, yeah, they were ramping up for a Switch Pro or whatever, but from the last things I had heard, and look, man, I mean, I could be wrong for sure, but the last things I had heard was that they are done with the Switch Pro. They've shut that down, and they are actually ramping up for a new gen Nintendo console. Thank God, because that's where they should be going. That's the last thing I had read, anyways. If you take a look at this, holy crap, dude. The generations, right? So, release 2001, right? Xbox 360, 2005. Good night, bro. What? Dude, I didn't realize how much of a gap there was there for the Xbox. Jesus. Yeah, Xbox naming progression is so terrible. Yeah. The next one that comes out will be like the Xbox One X S Series 249 or something. Rubber ducky. It's going to be something ridiculous. Dude, look at that gap. I didn't know that gap was so big. Check that out. So Xbox 360 to Xbox One was a huge gap. Yeah, dude. That's a huge gap. Roughly, 7 years? 6.5 years? That's crazy, dude. Something like that. But then you'll see, here's, 3 years. There's another 3 years. Xbox has been a bit wonky on theirs, but, bro, yeah, okay. Now let's go look at PlayStations too. The one was a huge upgrade. Well, dude, it should have been with that much time in between. Holy crap, dude. That was a lot of time in between. But again, that was like, you know, what did we say, about 7 years there, something like that. That's like the height of that cyclical nature that you're gonna see, right? I've got I've still got my Xbox One ferret, yeah, but I quit buying Xboxes after that because I didn't like the quality of them. I had a lot of friends that bought them after the Xbox One, and they still had a bunch of meltdown issues, like the red, the uh, the red light of death. You know what I mean? All that stuff. I was like, it's not worth, man. Because even my Xbox One, the Xbox Ones were terrible with having what was it? Their reader would burn up, dude, in the optical drives all the time, and you could only replace it with certain these specific like optical drives that were needed for the Xboxes, and dude, they would constantly burn up. Yeah, the red ring of death, dude. Yeah, on the 360s and stuff. So I don't know. I still have my Xbox One, but I didn't really buy into them after that. So you see PlayStation, right? PlayStation, you've got 94, and that was Japan, and then Japan to 2000, right? There's 6 years. And then 2000, 2006, 6 years. 2006, 2013, there's 7 years. And then 2013 to 2020, 7 years, dude. So that's what I mean. It is a fairly cyclical thing, right? I mean, it's traditionally history has shown that with a lot of consoles, from generation to generation, you're sticking with about a 6 to 7 year life cycle, right? That's normally the way things have gone. I mean, is there a little bit of variability in there? Yeah, I mean, there's normally going to be a little bit of that, just depending on the current state of hardware and the market and things like that. But traditionally, that's the way things have gone, right? So if you think about that and the fact that we're pushing up on 3 years right now, I mean that's close to, if not half of the life cycle of PS5. And then they're talking about the end of 2024, which is a year and a half away for PS5 Pro. They're trying to push out a console to get more interest in the PS5 to make more money on it. Roughly a year to a year and a half before the next iteration, their new console drops. They want people to buy into again, Yeah. This is the stuff, dude. This is, you know, this is the console market, man. And I don't know. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, these console players, man, they I really don't think there are a lot of people that think critically about like what they're doing here. Xbox One S had a fan issue, sent it back, got it back, fixed 5 days later. Oh, okay. Running like for 6 years nearly. Oh, nice, dude. Yo, sick, dude. Nice, Mithril. Awesome. Oh, Black Friday, dude. That's the time to shop. Dude, I'm a shopper too, man. I try to get people as many deals as I can. That's one of my big things for people. I feel like the biggest obstacle for people nowadays in gaming is price, and it doesn't help. I mean, that's one of the reasons I try to raise so much awareness around some of the more scummy things that go on in the industry and all the monetization and when people I hate whenever I see things online and it's like, oh well, the price is raising from $60 to $70, and you'll get people that try to defend it and it's like, well, yeah, but the price of games hasn't raised in roughly 20 years. It's like, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind if you think the price of gaming hasn't it hasn't hiked up over 20, just off of the initial price point, maybe not, but everything else in gaming, there's been all kinds of other stuff. Uh, yeah, I mean, and look, everybody's got their preference, right? PC to console, and I respect the crap out of that. But for me personally, as somebody that's traditionally done a lot of gaming on all kinds of different platforms, I have really, really, really pulled myself away from console gaming. Um, over the past you know, 5 to 10 years. Not entirely, but in large part because it seems like a much, much, much more scummy side of the gaming industry than PC does to me. It just there's a lot of this stuff that they pull on people, man. That I'm not I'm not comfortable with it personally, and a lot of the things that I see are just it seems really weird to me. They're getting away with it. People are buying into it, so that's why they keep doing it. But for me, I think personally, raising awareness about it, I think getting people to look at it critically and about what the kind of mechanics they're up to with this kind of stuff, is like, is this really going to do a whole lot more for PS5 players, especially when the next iteration is going to be coming out like within the next year, 2 years at the most afterwards? Probably not. you know? Yeah, yeah. I mean, dude, I've always been the same way. I've always been primarily PC, but I've always done gaming across a lot of different stuff. But it's hard for me to dive into the console stuff anymore. It just I keep seeing more and more come out of the console space that just feels real gross to me. So I don't know. I mean, to each their own, and I respect the crowd. I mean, gaming's supposed to be about having fun, but I find it hard to have fun whenever I see companies doing this kind of stuff to people personally. So oh, okay, yeah, yeah, Ghost for sure, buddy. Yeah. All right, man. Thanks very much, dude. Have a great day. Oh yeah. Yep. Well, and I mean that makes sense for them. They've always lost money on hardware. You know, they've always lost money on hardware. So, um, why would they? That's one of the things. What we talk about. Was the name of it like Project Capstone or something like that? Where they were making like a real small form factor kind of piece of hard like a really small form factor hardware box that you could just like have around for getting their cloud gaming stuff going that would eliminate the need for PC or a Xbox console or anything, and you could cloud game off of it and stuff. But that's been put on like kind of permanent hold right now. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense for them, right? Why would you continue to invest and I mean the reason they've done it for so long is because it's brought people into the Xbox platform. But for them the platform is never it's for a long time now it's been about building up a customer base around the premise of subscription service and things like that, and getting people into that required the hardware component for such a long time. But I can see them moving away from it entirely in the not too distant future. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, dude, they have set the bar for cloud gaming. And they're ingrained in uh, cloud gaming, gaming as a service, streaming as a service. You know what I mean? It's there's all kinds of different stuff that they've really, really, really done very well, and now they're trying to pivot into being a big competitor in the app store market and things like that. So I think for them, they probably don't really care to be in the hardware market a whole lot longer. That wouldn't be surprising to me at all. Yeah, yeah, they do a really good job with it, Mithril. I agree. Looks like Callisto Protocol DLC adds new deaths and hardest mode yet. Callisto Protocol got another of its post-launch DLCs this week with the release of the Contagion bundle. An add-on that introduces even more death animations to the game, as well as another difficulty mode for players to test their skills against. Building off of the hardcore mode released previously, this new DLC introduces something even fiercer called the Contagion mode. It's a mode where you have to start the chapter over if you die, and enemies are much tougher in general, so you should have plenty of chances to see the 14 new death animations this same DLC added. The DLC is out as of Tuesday, but as those who've played the Callisto Protocol and have kept up with the post-launch content will know, this is very much a DLC and basic update. That means you'll have to pay for the new mode and the death animations if you want them. Gross. A fact that hasn't gone over well in the past with some who felt those sorts of things should have been included in the base game or free updates to begin with. Absolutely. But this is the scummy stuff, dude. The content is out now for those who stuck around for it. There's no reason that this content shouldn't have been in this game in the first place. This is the stuff I talk about all the time. There's a difference between DLC that is very extensive, that is probably worth, that's more like what we would consider an expansion, that's probably worth some money, and then stuff like this that probably should have been part of the base game in the first place, and instead they go, we'll just drop this a few months after the game releases to try to make some more money. It's really disgusting, dude. Harder than hardcore mode, Contagions mode. Whole thing is that everything is much more difficult on top of the fact that you can't manually save the game and have to restart a chapter upon death. Should make for some pretty excruciating challenges during certain segments such as the cargo ride, but if you've been waiting on this DLC, that's probably exactly the kind of challenge you've been looking forward to. Not to mention the fact that Callisto Protocol didn't do too well either, by the way. What are the current ratings on it? It really set the table for the Dead Space remake because people were not thrilled with this game. Yeah. 62% positive. What's the Metacritic on it? That's pretty bad, dude. That's not very good. Over 22,000 all-time reviews. This is since December, man. That's when this game dropped. 62% positive. That's pretty brutal. Let's check this out. If you guys need something out of that article, I'll link it. Yo, it's random mode time too. Yeah, just take a minute. I'll take a look at that. PS5. Bro, what a kappa, dog. 69 Metascore and a 6.9 user score. Oh, dude. The amount of kappa in that, dog. Wow. Yeah, dude. Yo, look at this. On PC, it's even worse. 68 Metascore, 5.5 user score. Yeah. The Callisto Protocol did not do very well anyways. And then they're trying to do this whole scummy thing of oh, hey, we dropped some DLC content. And it's really stuff that should have been in the game in the first place. So shame on them. Gross. Striking distance. That's pretty disgusting. But I don't know. You guys, you do you. You know what I mean? What we got here? Yeah. Fun. I checked 4090 GPU price right now. Oh my god, dude. 3,800 Australian? Dude, even US. I mean, bro, I can't imagine spending $2,500 on a graphics card. That's so gross. I mean, dude, whenever I dropped the money on my 3070 back when I built my PC in the beginning of 2021, I felt like that was a bit much, and that's nothing compared to the price of a 49. And you're not getting that amount of performance out of that cost, dude. I'm sorry. You're just not. Really? I think that for most people, if anybody's looking to upgrade, you should be trying to grab yourself a 2000 series card right now. If you're looking to upgrade and you're on a budget, you should be looking to grab a 2000 series card from a retailer. They're trying to get rid of that stock. AMD just quit making the chips for the 2000 series NVIDIA cards, and those are banging cards, dude. The 2000 series cards are beasts. And I highly recommend checking around and trying to find yourself a 2000 series graphics card, because you can get one at a pretty good price point, because they're trying to get rid of the stock on those, and they're 2 generations old now as well, but those cards run very well. So I highly recommend looking into that. Naughty Dog has decided that what their next game will be. Will be The Last of Us Part 3. This is the burning question, and one Naughty Dog's co-president, Neil Druckmann, has yet to answer. Druckmann did, however, confirm the studio was already developing its next project. Quote, that's the fire that has to sustain for years to come, and if you pick the wrong project and then you burn out on that idea because you weren't that passionate about it 2 years into a 4-year project, you're flipped. I think that's how you make mediocre anything. If you lose your excitement for it. For sure, dude. No doubt. Druckmann said he was aware that fans really want The Last of Us Part 3. I hear about it all the time, and all I can say is that we're already into our next project. The decision has already been made. Naturally, this was all Druckmann would disclose about the future project. I can't say what it is, but that's the process we went through. There's a lot of consideration of different things, and we picked the thing that we're most excited for. The prospect of a third game in the post-pandemic series has attracted interest from Laura Bailey, who wanted to reprise her role as Abby in a threequel. Speculation has even led one industry insider to threaten to reveal details of Naughty Dog's next title if they didn't receive early access to the HBO series. They suggested without confirmation that Part 3 was in production. That's so gross, dude. Why are people so disgusting? If you don't give me early access to your show, I'm going to oust information about some of your other projects. Why do people suck so much? That's disgusting, dude. Literal blackmail, dude. Yeah. Entitled people. Yeah, Ferret. Yeah, no doubt. Well, we'll see what comes from Naughty Dog. But yeah, that's a really good sentiment right there from Neil Druckmann, their co-president. And it's like, we talk about this a lot. We see products in gaming coming to the table for us that you can tell that the passion wasn't all there, right? Mediocre products quite often. And it's there's a lot of other things that can contribute to that, but I think that maintaining some kind of presence within the development of your company for a real passion behind whatever project you're all committed to work on, that's a big component of beginning any kind of project, right? Getting people excited about working on a particular project and having a passion for what they're doing, that's a big part of people being committed to bringing quality content to the table for that title. Terminal Velocity Boosted Edition, breakdown details, improvements, and additions. Bro, Terminal Velocity. I remember this game. Vaguely, but released in 95, getting a bit of a makeover in 2023 through Terminal Velocity Boosted Edition. Publisher Ziggurat released a video of this remastered edition detailing some of its enhancements with commentary from the team. You guys remember an old game too called Descent? Wasn't that the name of that game? You had a plane or like a spaceship. You'd fly through these different little areas and stuff. Descent, wasn't it? God dang, I think that was the name of that. Boosted edition. Love Descent, bro. Yeah, Descent was great. Yeah, it was a good game, dude. Boasts extended draw distance, better sky rendering, and re-engineered 360-degree sound, as well as support for widescreen controllers and trophies or achievements, a few of which pop during the video. These visual changes can be seen in the videos. There's less fog, and the visuals aren't as jaggy when compared to videos of the original. Terminal Reality developed the original release, has been recruited to touch up this version too. Developer is known for other games like Fury 3, Blood Rain, Ghostbusters, the video game, and more. Boosted Edition is out now on PC and Nintendo Switch for $12. US, but is coming to the PlayStation and Xbox consoles sometime in the future. Let's take a look at this. Good night, bro. Oh, jeez, dude. Seeing these games like this
Nixon
is
and I are
so
just
wild.
taking a look at Terminal Velocity Boosted Edition. Come join us.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
We're here on the main menu, and I do want to do one thing, as kind of show you, for anybody who's going to be playing this game, is in the instructions menu, here, you get a good overview of like everything, how to play the game. So you could take that instruction manual, you could throw it in the
Descent?
trash.
Yeah, dude, me too. This is a very long, let's just skip forward here. But this is a very long video here, and I'll link it for you guys, but that looks pretty smooth, dude.
For sure.
Nice.
In some ways, it's like...
I remember this game.
Like, the draw distance in this version is just, you can see until the end of the world.
Definitely. There's no Silent Hill fog here.
I need to go back and play X-Wing, dude. That's what I need to do. Yeah, it must have been a good one if we all remember it, right? Yeah.
So Nixon, what's it like to be in the cockpit of the TV-202?
Well,
oh no, you're going into a tunnel.
See, these are like Descent vibes right here, but Descent was more of like a third-person spaceship game, you know? I don't even know if they had the option to like move into first-person mode, right?
Yeah, this kind of, I didn't realize this, but this kind of.
Oh, dude, I didn't even ever. I don't even think I ever played it multiplayer, dude. I was just always single-player.
But you're still fighting off alien forces that are coming to Earth, so why not?
Why not?
Oh, you just got wrecked, dude.
How are you feeling on your mission?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you just hit your terminal velocity?
Yeah, I mean, I know what I know what Star Citizen, you know, is supposed to be, and why it's such a
But it feels good.
Hey,
you know, the reason why they're reaching for this very
get rid of that.
I got him.
Ooh, that's a good bank.
Thank you.
Considering you've been running into stuff.
immersive kind of world, and
nimble. Look at this.
Look at this! Wow. Ooh,
it's a weird situation, man. It's tough for me. It's tough for me.
Nice. God,
Wing
this
Commander
ship is
was
so
for
cool.
so
Every
many
time
people,
they,
dude.
like,
X-Wing was my
flip around
jam.
so you can see
X-Wing was my
The
jam, dude.
design is
I
really
loved
sick.
X-Wing.
Well, here's my stats.
You know,
I killed.
one.
here, I'll link it for you guys. That looks cool though. Tron Identity release date revealed in new trailer. So, Bithell Games has been dancing around Tron Identity's release date, but it has now released a trailer revealing exactly when it will launch. The licensed adventure game will come out on PC and Nintendo Switch on April 11th for an unknown price. So, a little less than a month now. The latest footage runs through some of the choices players can make. Being a visual novel with branching paths and multiple endings, players are encouraged to experiment and choose wisely in their investigation. This can take the form of how players interact with other characters by allying with them, going up against them, or derezzing them. Identity has also not been confirmed for other platforms as of yet. God, dude. I love the Tron world, man. The Tron movies and everything, too. I wish Disney didn't own it. I have to say. It's really loud, sorry. Yeah. Barely recall the original Tron movie. Dude, it was good. I liked it. I loved it. Original Tron movie was great. And then, dude, I really liked the sequel to it, you know, that came out. Dude, what was it, like in the 2000s or something? I thought that was pretty good, too. With the dude. Yeah. had the dude in it, man. Bridges. That was a pretty good movie too, I thought. But I don't know. Like the Tron world, it just seems so available to like a more of a fleshed out like cyber kind of world. You know, to just give it this like narrative treatment and that's it. It seems a bit lackluster to me, but I don't know. Hopefully people will enjoy it. I don't know. There you go. If you need more from it. Zangief, baby, let's go, dude. Today, Capcom published a video showing a match between two of two characters that would be playable in Street Fighter 6, Zangief and Marissa. As usual, the match is in the short 3-round format and is played by the developers, providing a pretty good look at what these two fighters play like in the new chapter of the popular fighting series. Incidentally, while Zangief has been around basically forever and is one of Street Fighter 6's returning characters, Marissa is brand new. Check out the action below. Yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah. It seems that way, right? Yeah, yeah. Not like exactly the same, but yeah, basically premise wise, right? Yeah, no doubt, dude. So, for those of you that don't know, like all the major like fighting, you know, there are some of the notable major fighting games, right, in the industry. We're talking, you know, when you think fighting games, you think games like Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat. You know, there are others absolutely, but those are some of the more notable ones that have been around for a very long time. And you know, all of those three games, the reason I note those specifically, they all have, you know, their next iteration slated to come out fairly soon. Street Fighter 6 being the one that's going to hit before any of the others. So I think it's coming out in June. Is that correct? I think we'll see the date. But and then this is going to be the big new title for Evo, right? So Evo is going to pop off in, I think, August. And as long as Street Fighter 6 releases on time, this will be the big new fighting game to be showcased at Evo this year. And then Tekken 8 is supposed to pop off later this year. And we've already seen where Mortal Kombat 12 is coming as well, right? Street Fighter, dude, Street Fighter, you know, I haven't played fighting games in quite a long time. But Street Fighter's always had a bit of a special place for me because Street Fighter's where I really got into, and I played Mortal Kombat back in the day too. I played a good amount of it, but Street Fighter's always been more my jam too, you know. And I've always liked both for sure, but there's something about like I always go back to Super Nintendo, dude, and Street Fighter 2. I was like, God, dude, Blanca was my jam, dude. I loved Blanca. I don't know what it was about that fool, dude, but I loved Blanca on Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo, man. And so I've really enjoyed sticking with. Occasionally, I'll watch some. You got Turbo? Oh, let's go, dude. Yeah, nice. I've always enjoyed watching competitive play of fighting games, and the amount of knowledge that competitive players have in regards to these titles is absolutely, you know, it's amazing to me. And it's cool to watch the people that play the games at a very highly competitive level that are very good at elaborating on what exactly is going on in the matches, you know. It's really cool because I mean it's beyond my skill for sure. I mean I haven't played fighting games in forever really, but I enjoy watching them very much. And you know, it's pretty cool. And Street Fighter's the one I usually watch if I go watch any fighting jams, you know. Great at button mashing. That's what most people are, you know. These games have turned into very 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 technical games, dude. And if you get in there with somebody that halfway knows what they're doing and you don't, you get throttled. It's crazy. Ryu, yeah, dude, Ryu is dope too, yeah. There are a lot of good characters. It's crazy. It's funny how jacked everybody is, you know what I mean? It's like Ken's jacked, Ryu's jacked, you know, like nowadays, like, all of them are just, they all look roided out, you know what I mean? get wrecked. Nice. That hurts. Oh. Oh, dude, Chun-Li. Yeah, Chun-Li. Thick thighs save lives, baby. Yeah, dude. By the way, Guile has a goatee in this one, and it looks so gross, dude. I hate it. Oh, dude. Yeah, not all the characters were always like. That's what I'm saying. Like back in the day, like even Ken and Ryu, they weren't like. I mean, they were fit, dude, and they were strong looking. You know, but they didn't look like they were just in the gym 24/7. You know, like you see Ryu in this, dude. Have you seen Ryu in this? Bro, he's massive. Dog. He's massive. So's Ken, dude. Yeah, they were fit, dude. Very athletic. They were muscled. But they didn't look like they do nowadays, you know. Oh, we get corner reverse, dude. Parry, dude? Was that a parry? Oh, that was sick. Look at Ken, bro. What? Did you see? Look at Ken, dog. Look at how big he is, dude. I'm pretty sure that's Ken, dude. That is a different look for Ken. Yeah, you're good, Mithril. Well, look at his flipping arms, bro. He's so huge. Yeah. It's crazy, dude. Haven't seen this version. Kind of fell off. Yo, look at there's a Ryu one too. Go look at the Ryu reveal for Street Fighter 6. Oh, Fei Long. There you go, dude. Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. As mentioned above, Marissa is a fully new character who never appeared in Street Fighter series before. She hails from Italy, and she's described below. Zangief's reveal, yeah. Follows several gameplay clips showcasing full matches played by the developers, including Marissa herself versus Manon, DJ versus Dalsim, and Blanca versus JP. Recently also learned that Japanese actress Hikaru Takahashi joined the roster of commenters. Oh, dude, I hate that. If you haven't heard the real-time commentary stuff introduced for the game, there's no way I really, really hope. I think they do have a way to turn it off. Bro, it would drive me crazy. There's no flipping way. I could play this game with that stupid real-time commentary stuff on. I do not like it, dude. I don't like it. Because they're saying things like every time the whole time you're playing this thing, like, get up, don't give up, keep going at them. And it's like, oh, bro, just shut your mouth, dude. Ferret, well played, dude. Well played. Yeah, here you go. If you guys need more, I'll throw it in chat for you. Tekken 8 martial law gameplay trailer shows somersault kicks galore. Yeah, Tekken 8 martial law gameplay trailer. Bandai has released another Tekken 8 gameplay trailer. Martial law's moment to shine. Legendary Dragon himself makes his triumphant return in the upcoming 8th installment of the iconic fighting game series. Looks like he's making the transition to the sequel pretty much unscathed. Last week, Paul Phoenix made his debut in the Tekken 8 showcase, and martial law was effectively his punching bag. Speculated that Law might want to get his own back when it came time for his trailer, and that's very much the case, as Paul takes a real beating in this new video. Check out the new Tekken 8 martial law gameplay trailer right now.
Get ready for the next battle. Tekken 8. New challenger. Come and get some. I dare you. Martial law.
Nunchukus. So basically Bruce Lee, right? Yeah, exactly, fair, yeah. I said that right as I was looking over at chat, right? Yeah. Bruce Lee is the man, dude. So, I respect it. Yeah. I mean, it's iconic, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's iconic for Bruce. Go. Looks good. Looks good. Trailer shows off Law's lightning-quick fighting style, as well as some of his most iconic moves and weapons. Just as endearingly cocky as ever, laying the smackdown on Paul Phoenix with quick punches, kicks, and nunchaku blows. Thanks to the gorgeous graphics of Tekken 8, Law's Bruce Lee influence is easier to see than ever. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Yeah, it really does, dude. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Tekken 8 is slated to arrive on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. It'll boast completely new character models and will be built on Unreal Engine 5, which should make it a more visceral experience. Don't have a release window for the game yet, but more and more character showcases are being revealed as the weeks go by. Hopefully it won't be long before we know when we can get our hands on Tekken 8. If we don't hear anything before the summer showcases, we'll probably get a release date then, is what I'm expecting. I really think... yeah, exactly, dude, yeah. I really think that this game is probably going to release late this year. Late this year. And I would be really surprised if we didn't get an official release date come around the summer showcase time, like second week of June, you know. But we'll see. Here it is for you. There you go. Making your video games has become a nightmare. Yeah, okay. So labor problems. Video game industry has very big problems, and we don't say it because of its huge income and juicy profits. Think about something happening in recent event show problems that have been dragging on for years. That it is now impossible to hide. First is work related. We'll try to summarize this. It's pretty long, so a bomb exploded after the announcement of layoffs at Microsoft. Patrick Wren, a designer at 343, took to Twitter to expose the reality of the studio and what happened to Halo Infinite due to incompetent leadership. In addition to condemning the layoffs and saying they shouldn't have happened, according to his testimony, the bosses of 343 ruined Halo Infinite. as the team was committed to making a great Halo, but mismanagement by the studio and problems that have come to light in recent years, such as lack of direction and creation of enormous amounts of content that gave up to 3 complete games, led to poor results. Xbox ended up missing a golden opportunity and showing that the situation in the big gaming leagues is in very bad shape. Within this framework, it came to light that the project was affected because Microsoft has a subcontracting policy that requires termination of the employment relationship after 18 months with no option to renew. In other words, every year and a half, an important part of the team changes. Today, Halo Infinite looks dying, floundering, waiting for to resurface with Season 3, and is one of the great examples of what is wrong in the industry. These controversies were added to unfortunate launches such as the Callisto Protocol, a sales flop that dragged down Krafton's finances, and whose prior to launch was marked by a labor exploitation scandal involving Glenn Schofield, director of the studio. Now the franchise has to deal with the disaster. In the development of video games, quote, this is a quote, in the development of video games, a long list of problems such as exploitation, nepotism, harassment, abuse, violence, job uncertainty is conjugated that leads us to the question how to make quality video games in a timely manner under these conditions. There are many testimonials related to the terrible work culture of crunch, including those of employees of companies as successful as Rockstar and Naughty Dog, where wear and tear has led developers to not being willing to work anymore, not even earning more money. It is here where the spiral of video game development begins its downward path and affects the cycle of creative processes, since an exploited, tired, and poorly paid labor base can hardly meet very high goals. It is increasingly difficult for a video game to come out on time and to deliver in terms of quality. Game creation works on as a system, so the failure of one part affects the rest. For example, it is no coincidence that one of the most undervalued and hit areas, that of quality control, has given of itself under these conditions, and its staff let go of a significant number of errors and details that charge a very expensive bill in the product. Finally, this is how labor problems end up affecting the results. It is very apparent that testing and QA is just not at the forefront of a lot of developers' concerns with development. It appears. I mean, we've talked about that. The amount of, and maybe that's the case. It's like, that could be part of it, right? It's like, some of the internal struggles with getting people to do the quality work and is not there, and so therefore it's lacking in that area or something. I don't know, man. What I can tell you is that as an avid gamer, I can't tell you how often I play a game on release and I go, how was this missed? How was this missed? How was this missed? How was this missed? How was this overlooked? And all I can assume is that there was either very, very poor QA, very little QA or testing, or management behind the scenes didn't listen to the feedback that the testers were giving, and it was just, well, it's good enough. We don't have time. Just ship it. I can only assume that it would be one of those types of things, right? Excessive expectations. Long ago, Bloomberg journalist Jason Schreier set the networks ablaze with the tweet, game production cycles have gotten so long. If a big budget studio started working on a new project today, it would likely be released for PlayStation 6. The most interesting thing is that there were indie developers who responded by ensuring that even they, with less ambitious productions, can only plan one game per generation. Yeah, I think that it's a pretty good assumption that you could pull from all of those as well, Ferret. Yeah. At first glance, this seems a logical consequence of the development of more ambitious projects with more and better production values, and the need to respond to the advancement of hardware through experiences that are superior to those of previous generations. But there is more. For decades, the video game industry had a remarkable rise in dynamic development process capable of optimally adapting to the needs of the market. Even though it was a business, the balance was tilted towards the creative side. And although there were stories of excesses in labor matters, the machinery showed signs of working well, as there were great launches in a short time and only ambitious and monstrous projects had the luxury of taking years to get out. Perhaps this process reached its breaking point in the era of the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, when it was common to see the birth of AAA franchises with releases every 2 years. We were practically living in a gamer's paradise full of hype and constant deliveries. Everything broke in the next generation because the industry and the market had changed without us realizing it. See, this is what I talk about this a lot. This is what I miss, you know? And this is where I talk a lot about franchises like Assassin's Creed or Pokemon, franchises like that where we're just constantly bombarded with new entries, you know? Those IPs are so polluted anymore. It's like, where do you even begin? Whether you're a new player wanting to dive in, or you're a returning player to those series trying to get back into it, it's pretty daunting trying to figure out where to get back into those. Because, I mean, it's insane how often they put out new games for those IPs, you know? A AAA trilogy and even The Last of Us in a single generation. More powerful hardware, high production values, and more ambitious goals anticipated spectacular video games, but the more complex, demanding, and sensitive creative processes to any error or management difficulty lengthened delivery times. This caused us to start thinking that some of the big AAAs would take 3, 4, 5, or more years to develop. Let's remember PlayStation 4 heavyweights like The Last of Us Part 2, which appeared at E3 without any release date being mentioned, Halo Infinite, which required 6 years and counting, or the infamous Cyberpunk, whose existence we learned about in 2013 and wasn't released until 2020 and was terrible. CDPR. Anyone would think that the formula budget plus years of development results in a vintage video game. The reality is far from that. Unfortunately, creative processes come under friendly fire as companies try to keep our interest in what they claim will be their next big title. High expectations become inevitable, and some projects end up going out of proportion. I think that's a big problem. Let's think about the most recent case, which is Forspoken. Oh, baby, here we go. A video game that in each advance was shown as a spectacular open world and with enough to leave its mark on the adventure genre in the current generation. The result was mediocre at best, I would say, and raised questions about Square Enix's role in the promotional manipulation of the product it published, which ended up being a great disappointment. Today, the development team apologizes and promises improvements, even though it has already been absorbed by Square Enix. But it is almost impossible to change the perception when the video game consumer is faced with a situation where the parent companies have decided to sell first and fix later. Another thing I talk about a lot. The internet, the prominence and prevalence of accessibility to people in constant internet connections in today's gaming world has resulted in this kind of mindset, right? Sell first, fix later. And it's a terrible thing for the industry. It's gross, and it has resulted in so many terrible examples of games being released and not when they shouldn't have been, right? That's all there is to it. Many games have gotten released when they shouldn't have been, and this was because of this mindset. Sell it, then we'll fix it. And that should never happen. Ultimately, I keep trying to promote the fact that we need to get back more closer to, a mindset of don't even think about the fact that you have this utility, this tool to be able to access the game and really patch it or put new content in it or anything after the fact. When you're in that development process, you should be looking at this title as not being able to touch it after it's released. That's the kind of mindset I think developers need to have. Therefore, you're pushing out the best possible product that you can on release, right? If you go into this venture of a production of a piece of software thinking, I can't touch this, the way it used to be in gaming, right? And don't get me wrong, I understand, it's not necessarily that easy because games are much bigger. They're much more fleshed out. The worlds are huge now and everything. But if you go into this process with a mindset, if you get your people thinking along the lines of, let's pretend we can't touch this game after it's released. It has to be as absolutely polished as possible because we won't be able to touch it after it's released. Then you're setting yourself up to release a piece of software that's going to be in a much better state than I think you would have otherwise. And then, because of this nice tool that you have in, connectivity from the internet, you are able to, put more content in the game and patch some of the unforeseen issues because every title has them, right? But this is a very bad mindset that has come across the industry, man. Although there are AAA games that have come to fruition, it seems that it is increasingly difficult for that to happen because now it takes years of development, which companies waver on the thin and dangerous line of hype they generate and the pressure of financial entity that is increasingly important. Yeah. Gaming and the pressure of the financial environment. As if the environment weren't dark enough, the arrival of video games to the top brought a new guest. Investors who saw in this form of entertainment a nascent source of great business. The big companies received the support that took them to financial heaven, but this relationship endowed them with responsibilities before the new masters. Today, quarterly and annual. Hey, speak of the devil, dude. Who were we talking about previously today? Bobby Kotick, dude. The creative process is relegated because it is intended to market the concept, squeeze it, and restart the process as many times as necessary. What is the objective? In the big video game companies, it is no longer exactly selling, but rather meeting the expectations of the market and the financial sector. Perhaps one of the best examples is Activision Blizzard's 2019 financial report, which reflected internal records across all its sectors, but fell short of investor expectations and had to lay off hundreds of employees. Situation has led to uncertainty regarding investment in large video game projects due to the combination of creative restrictions and minimal possibilities for innovation. Yeah, in the current state of the industry, fewer and fewer people are in their right mind are putting hundreds of millions of dollars at stake on a project that will take years to create and sell 10 million copies over 2 to 3 years. Years. Of course, each creative step is measured with only finances in mind, nothing more. The other option is to take the path of trends. Conclusion, for better or for worse, video games have something for everyone. There are great titles that have completed their cycle without setbacks and that have delivered excellent results, but a brief consultation on the internet shows that these cases are beginning to be the least. Absolutely. Absolutely. Today, gamers must come to terms with the idea that the video games we love and hope for so much will take time to arrive, but also that there is a possibility they will end up being a disaster because making them has become a nightmare. Yeah, I don't think that a lot of this is necessarily news to a lot of us, right? I mean, it's become very apparent that the ability for a lot of developers to tap into and utilize their creative side and put together these passion projects for quality gaming content for us is just not really quite often applicable in these, especially these developers that get very, very big, right? Because a lot of it's the pressure from the business side of things pushing down on them, and they don't care about that. It's only money. It's only money. And I'm here to tell you that it's that mindset of it doesn't matter. It's only money. They're not listening to their internal, the people that have the passion for the game creation and stuff. It's hurting them because they're ending up pushing out these games that feel like crap. They're mediocre at best. They've got a lot of issues. And all that money that they put into the game and all the resources they put in the game is all for naught. So that's a big issue. We see this stuff all the time. We talk about this stuff all the time. But this is a very well-written article. So, I don't know. I'll link it for you guys. Yeah, Ferret. Yeah, buddy. Former Diablo devs launch Gas Giant Games. Two former developers on the Diablo series revealed their new studio today called Gas Giant Games, founded by Jay Wilson and Julian Love, who serve as the studio's design director and creative director, respectively. The studio also announced its first game, an unnamed action RPG based on a new IP. The studio plans to give previews of the new title at the upcoming Game Developers Conference. Wilson and Love say they've gathered a large team of gaming industry veterans to work on their new game. The team's credits include Overwatch, Gears of War, Cyberpunk, Kingdom Hearts, and Company of Heroes. Wilson says the developers worked on several games concepts before moving forward with the action RPG game, which will also feature survival elements. Gas Giant will offer private demonstrations of the game to interested investors and publishers. The Game Developers Conference, GDC, as it's called, will be held in California on the 20th through the 24th. So less than a week, it will kick off. All right. We'll have to see what comes from Gas Giant Games there. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 free access dates announced. Looks like March 16th through the 20th. So starts off tomorrow and then for the next 4 days. So Modern Warfare 2 will be holding a free access period from March 16th through the 20th. During this time, players will be able to play on a selection of multiplayer and spec ops maps and modes without purchasing the game. Check out the full blog post at this link. Additionally, Season 2 Reloaded starts tomorrow along with Episode 2 of the Raid. Check out the latest trailer below. Take a look.
Secure the objective, eliminate the enemy.
This looks like a way through. Keep it quiet.
The enemy deployed a juggernaut. Our gunship is on station. Airdrop inbound.
This was a hidden city. How did AQ find it?
Someone's helping them.
There you go. If you need more out of it, I'll link it. Chinese games industry publishes draft of rules for self-regulation. The rules aim to address problems in industries such as copyright disputes and gaming addiction without the need for government interaction. Yeah, they've had a tough time here, man, with the government really, really ingrained in the gaming industry. It's hurting them pretty badly. Gaming Publishing Committee of the China Audio, Video, and Digital Publishing Association published a draft of the new self-discipline guidelines for the distribution and promotion of games, reports the South China Morning Post. Draft was co-written by over a dozen Chinese tech and gaming companies, including Tencent. Oh, sorry. I apologize. Perfect World and 37 Games. This marks the first detailed set of self-discipline rules since China instituted tighter regulations in late 2021. Possible, although perhaps unlikely, the companies hope they can avoid strict scrutiny going forward by holding themselves to account. Under the rules, a game needs to meet 11 requirements before distribution. Games must not promote obscenity, pornography, gambling, violence, or aid crimes. Further, games should not endanger national security, damage national honor of interest, or leak state secrets. Advertising must also remain, quote, in line with the requirements of building a spiritual civilization. Socialist spiritual civilization, excuse me. The rules continue China's established focus on protecting minors first introduced in 2021. The majority of the new rules follow provisions in existing laws and regulations for online games, said law firm Guangdong Baishiji, partner Lilith Lee. But they will serve as an integrated reference point for upstream and downstream practitioners across the entire industry, not just for a certain type. Any online games going forward have to be connected to the online game anti-addiction real name verification system, a technology which will identify underage players to ensure they don't exceed the 3 hours per week limit imposed by the government. These new guidelines come as the Chinese gaming industry finds its feet following a turbulent 2022. In the first 2 months of 2023, the country has approved 175 new licenses, nearly a third of the total in all of 2022. Yeah. Wow, dude. We'll see what happens, but so much crazy stuff going on within the regulations of the Chinese government regulating gaming within their country. FTC finalizes $245 million fine against Epic Games to refund Fortnite players. Can you just turn off, dude? That'd be sick. Shut up. Federal Trade Commission finalized an order Tuesday requiring Fortnite developer Epic to pay $245 million in fines for using dark patterns to trick players into making unwanted or unauthorized charges. Fortnite employed counterintuitive, inconsistent, and confusing button configurations that duped players into making unwanted charges with the press of a single button, according to an FTC press release. Sai, what's up, dude? Oh, man. Furthermore, there was no purchase authorization process, enabling minors, a large demographic of the popular Battle Royale game, to rack up charges without parental consent. The FTC order is part of a larger agreement between the Commission and Epic from December 2022. According to a press release from Epic Games, the video game developer accepted the agreement in efforts to be at the forefront of consumer protection and provide the best experience for our players. Since the agreement, Epic has taken measures to prevent unwanted charges, such as great clarity when it comes to saving payment information and a hold-to-purchase mechanic to verify the user's intent to buy. Bro, Dallas had a bad game last night too. It was pretty disgusting. Yeah. We got some injuries right now, which doesn't help us, but it did not feel good. Yeah. Yeah, it didn't feel good to watch it. We've been doing pretty good here lately though, but last night was a pretty bad one. It was not fun to watch, man. How you doing today, buddy? Happy Wednesday, man. The company also updated its chargeback policy to account for non-fraudulent charge disputes. Previously, a chargeback would automatically disable the user's account as a fraud prevention measure. Now, Epic Games only restricts account access when signs of fraud are present. Epic has 8 days from the day the order was finalized to pay the fine in full. FTC will distribute the funds to affected users at its discretion, though there is currently no time frame for when the users can expect a refund. So the FTC is just going to hold on to all that, right? Players who suspect they have been wrongfully charged for Fortnite purchases can visit ftc.gov/Fortnite for more information on the refund process. Here you go. Oh, no way. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Ooh, bro. I got the yawns this morning. I'm sorry, guys. Microsoft will bring Call of Duty and PC games to a cloud service you've probably never heard of. The 10-year Boosteroid deal follows similar agreements and is intended to ease antitrust concerns. Yeah. Yeah, again, Microsoft right now is just like hooking up everybody with like 10-year deals. They want this acquisition to be finished. They're tired of this. They're tired of being caught up in these obstacles with, like the FTC and other regulatory committees across the world that are trying to like block this. So they're just trying to get as many deals done as they can. They're like, yo, let's do a 10-year deal. We'll put all of the Activision Blizzard content, Call of Duty on your platform. So they're trying to, they're playing that role. They're like, look, we're not anti-competitive, dude. We're friendos. All right. Microsoft's still hard at work convincing antitrust regulators that its planned Activision Blizzard purchase won't hurt competition in the gaming industry. Today, the company announced a 10-year agreement with Boosteroid for the cloud gaming provider to stream Activision's PC titles if the deal goes through. Yeah. Microsoft's latest attempt to demonstrate to the EU, UK, and US regulators that it won't use the deal to muscle out competitors and stifle competition. Yeah, recently struck 10-year deals with Nintendo and Nvidia. They've been trying with PlayStation from the get-go. PlayStation's not going to have it. We all know that. What's going to be really funny is like if through this whole thing, all these other companies get 10-year deals. You know, this is what's going to be really, really kind of comical about the situation. All of these other companies that like bought in right away and they're like, yeah, we'll take your 10-year deal. We'll take that 10-year deal for Call of Duty. You know, we'll take that 10-year deal for the Activision Blizzard content. PlayStation the whole time says no. Then this deal goes through. Everybody else is going to have that content besides PlayStation. That's going to be wild, dude. If the quote, if the only argument is that Microsoft is going to withhold Call of Duty from other platforms, we've now entered into contracts that are going to bring this. We have now entered into contracts that are going to bring this to many more devices and many more platforms. That is a pretty hard case to make to a court. President Brad Smith told the Wall Street Journal, the reason we want to buy Activision Blizzard is to round out our titles to have a fuller library, especially to have more mobile titles where we don't have a strong presence and build a stronger gaming business. Boosteroid, which I've never heard of, is the biggest independent cloud gaming service in the world. Like GeForce Now, it supports multi-device streaming access but requires purchasing paid games on other platforms, including Steam, Epic, Battle.net, and Origin. Their current library includes Fortnite, GTA 5, RDR2, and Activision's Call of Duty Warzone. Can stream games in web browsers, offers native apps for Windows, macOS, Android, Android TV, and Linux. Boosteroid has servers in Romania, Ukraine, Italy, Slovakia, France, Spain, the UK, Sweden, Serbia, and the US. Yeah, the European Commission in charge of EU competition regulation was reported earlier this month to be satisfied enough with Microsoft's commitments to likely give the go-ahead. However, the Commission hasn't said so publicly and has until April 25th to decide. UK regulators' decision is expected the following day, so the 26th. Meanwhile, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission sued Microsoft to block the deal in December out of concerns it could raise prices or cut off access for non-Microsoft hardware, something Microsoft has denied it would do. The company has until July to satisfy the FTC, or it will need to renegotiate the deal or abandon the purchase, putting it online for up to a $3 billion breakup fee. UK's Competition and Markets Authority, which favors structural changes over behavioral promises like licensing deals, recently suggested Microsoft could divest itself of Activision's publishing unit, which Microsoft has indicated it has no interest in doing. Deals like the Boosteroid one are part of its fight to avoid that fate. Yeah. Yep. They're doing everything they can to show that they're like, you know, they're playing ball here. They want this to go down, and they're going to give everybody they need to access for the next 10 years to these titles to get what they need out of this. That's what's going down. Last article I have, okay, if anybody has anything to add, let me know. We'll address it before we move on for the rest of the day. Going to play some Divinity Original Sin Day 3 with our buddy Manema Speaky. All right. Activision Blizzard exec claims that Sony CEO just wants to block Microsoft merger. Yeah, I mean, this has been fairly apparent. Shout out to Ferret for this article link, but this has been pretty apparent from the get-go. I've kind of been calling this out. You know, PlayStation's been doing this. PlayStation is the first company that Microsoft offered 10 years to, and PlayStation shot it down. I said right then, I mean, we didn't even have any details about what the offer was, but it wouldn't really matter. PlayStation doesn't want this to happen, and unless, you know, Microsoft basically offered PlayStation a forever contract for Call of Duty to be on their platform free of charge, you know, PlayStation is not going to accept it. I don't even know if they would accept that, because they don't want Microsoft having this title. So they're doing everything they can to make it look anti-competitive. An Activision Blizzard executive claims that the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment is committed to blocking the former's merger with Microsoft, potentially at the expense of PlayStation's access to Call of Duty. Microsoft's currently trying to acquire Activision Blizzard. Right, we know that. According to an Activision executive, head of PlayStation Jim Ryan refused the initial offer, saying, "I don't want a new Call of Duty deal. I just want to block your merger." Quoted. That's what they're saying that the quote was. Microsoft's ongoing attempt to acquire Activision Blizzard is on hold. Following a lawsuit undertaken by the Federal Trade Commission of the U.S., Federal Trade Commission exists to enforce antitrust laws, which seeks to prevent the formation of monopolies, right? Yeah, FTC isn't the only one that scrutinized this. We've just talked about all that. Yeah, Jim Ryan alleges that statements suggest that Call of Duty could be little more than a means to an end for Sony, a sentiment reminding us that the corporate world's cutthroat and mercenary nature. Should Ryan honestly not want a Call of Duty deal, Sony's emphasis on the much-beloved series would seem disingenuous, potentially even hypocritical. Reached out to Sony for confirmation of Ryan's statement. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, we've talked about it a lot. We've talked about this this situation so much. PlayStation has always been above Xbox. PlayStation doesn't want things to change. Is there an amount of anti-competitiveness in any time a huge merger like this happens? Yeah. But I think it'll happen still. I always have. I think PlayStation's actually being anti-competitive themselves. They don't want things to change. They always want it to just be able to coast by above Xbox where they've always been and not have to do anything really to compete, where Xbox has always had to have significant inventive kind of things for themselves because they don't sell nearly as much hardware or software, I think for that matter, that PlayStation ever has. And so they've had to come up with things like cloud gaming and subscription service to be very competitive in the market. And this is a ploy for them to keep moving forward in those spaces that have allowed them to keep being competitive. And PlayStation doesn't want them to get better. That's basically what it comes down to. If you guys need more out of it, here it is. There you go, man. Them's the jams. You guys rock, man. I appreciate you. We are going to move on to gaming for the day. We'll be getting into the Divinity Day 3, Divinity Original Sin Day 3, very soon. Once our buddy Miss Pinky gets around here, gets home from work and everything. But we might have to just run a couple of quick Warframe missions or something while we stall out. But great news segment. Appreciate you guys. Happy Wednesday. I hope your day is going very well. If anybody is catching our content, whether it be news segments or gameplay, clips and highlights of funny things that happen here, and you're enjoying it, come hang out with us, man. We go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day. We start all of our streams off with video gaming news before we dive into whatever content we have planned out for the rest of the day as far as playing video games and stuff. So other than that, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another. We will catch everybody tomorrow for March 16th edition of Video Gaming News and more Divinity with our buddy Pinky. Cool?